What up, what up? This is Finance Fitness and Folk, a channel we discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So on today's episode, I'm going to discuss why black women wear wigs. So admin notes, thanks again to all subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing the video out, give you leverage, you better yourselves. So once again, I'm in DC, in DuPont Circle, and I have a subscriber, a new subscriber that has a email topic that she wants me to discuss up here, right? So I'm gonna read the email a little bit so I can give you a little backdrop of what she wants as far as I guess my point of view on the subject, and then we'll get into it. So it says, good afternoon. I'm a new subscriber and I really have come to enjoy your videos. Well, thank you, I appreciate it. I wanted to know if you would do a video on your thoughts about black women wearing wigs, any form of attachments when they have a head full of hair on their head. We'll get into that. Also, a substantial amount of black women deal with some form of alopecia. Okay, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Correct me if I'm not pronouncing that right. Alopecia, I think that's how you pronounce it, alopecia. I would like to know if you have any thoughts or have looked into it and have any theories on why that may be, right? And then she goes on a little bit and says some other things, but that's the logistics of what she wants as far as the topic. So let's get into it. So the topic is why do black women wear wigs? So there are a multitude of reasons why. I'm going to get into some of the examples. Some of it is anecdotal. So for instance, so my mom is, she's mixed. I'm not exactly sure how much blood you need to have mixed in order to be considered mixed, right? My mom is, her granddad, her father, my grandfather is half white. And my grandmother is, I'm assuming she's fully black. I mean, she's pretty dark skinned. So in any case, my mom, she has thin, curly hair. Her hair is not coarse by any means, meaning that she has the type of hair that she could literally wash her hair every single day. It would not frizz, it would not shrink up, anything like that, right? I've known my mom to have this hair for, since I was, since I can remember, right? And, as a child, you don't really notice too many things about your parents. To a certain degree, you don't really think about really details. It's like, that's your mom, that's your dad. Like, they've been there since the beginning, right? So you get so used to seeing them over and over again in your lives, especially when you're young, that you don't really notice certain things that may be different from other parents. I didn't notice my mom having different hair until one day. I want to say I might have been in either the first or second grade, and one of my female friends had asked me, why does your mom hair look like that, right? So this was like the mid-80s, and I remember my mom had her hair pulled back in a ponytail, right? And it was really curly at the end. And I didn't think anything of it, right? But then, as I looked around, I think this might have been like a parent meeting that was going on, or something like that. And I noticed that the other mothers that was there had like, they had braids, or they may have had like their hair braided back. Some of them had wigs on, from what I remember. So my mom was pretty much the only woman I can remember in that room that day that had her hair pulled back. To the point where she could pull her hair back and it would have been no issue, right? So that's when it was pointed out to me my mom's hair was a little bit different than everybody else's. As time goes on, I noticed that later on my mom will wear wigs all the time. Now she wore wigs before too, but I really didn't notice it until after that day that my friend had pointed out my mom's hair. And didn't really think anything too much of it. And then as I got older, I became an adult. And then I asked my mom one day, like, you have very nice, beautiful hair. Why you always using wigs, right? And then she said, and I don't want to convolute what she said, but she pretty much said that throughout her life, a lot of her friends, a lot of the girls that she was around would always tease her, always be hating on her because of her hair. So she intentionally cut her hair all the time. and put wigs on, or basically try to style her hair to the point where she didn't look different than everybody else, right? Now, the one time that she had her hair pulled back, that's like the longest I had ever seen my mom's hair during that time. I guess eventually she had decided she wanted to grow her hair out. But then once the early 90s came in, you had all these short finger waist style hairstyles. She cut her hair off again, and she started wearing wigs that actually were looking like the fad of the 90s, right? My mom is still living, so as of a couple of years from now, she's actually finally stopped wearing wigs, and now she has her hair growing out. Actually, her hair is all the way down her back now, curly, nice hair, right? But I think that's one of the reasons why black women wear wigs, is because I think it's a social acceptance type thing. For my mom, it was social acceptance because her hair looked different than everybody else. So to wearing the wigs helped her fit in with her peers, right? Another reason, of course, the subscriber pointed out Alopecia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That's a form of baldness with women, and I've noticed this happen with a lot of black women. It has happened to some of my female family members that are older, in like the 60s. I can tell that their hairline is starting to push back a little bit, right? I have one aunt. I don't think I ever. No, I'm sorry, I take it back. No, I have seen her hair in naturally, but that was like when I was. My goodness, I probably was in middle school. I have not seen her natural hair since middle school. She's always wearing wigs, right? I'm not exactly sure because her hair thinning early in life. I'm not sure at all, but I just don't see her. I just don't see her natural hair. Also, I think in this day and age, I think it's cost efficient for women to have a wig or weave or extensions, because to get your hair done, especially with the type of hair that some black women may have, it can cost a lot of money. And I've seen black women with blowouts. They had their hair permed, straightened, all these other things, and hit on black women. But I'm pretty sure that most black women that had that type of texture of hair, they know that once it gets wet, it's done, right? So you could have spent almost like $20 on a hairdo without having any extensions, any weave or a wig, and you get a little bit wet and it's done. Like that $200 out the door, because your hair is not going to hold, right? So I think that's one of the reasons why, because I mean it's just it makes it easier. I've seen a lot of black women that they wear braids, because braids last a lot longer. Even though depending on what type of braids you get, it may be somewhat expensive to a certain degree, but it lasts a lot longer, and you have to worry about like getting up in the morning, have to take a long period of time to do your hair. You just get up, take the bun out of your hair and you're out the door, right? I have seen a lot of black women that actually started to get locks now, because locks is very low maintenance. They don't have to worry about wearing wigs and weave and all those type of things. Also, I think another one of the main reasons now with younger people, because I think the explanation I'm giving right now is more like my age group, maybe a little bit younger. But I think social media has really pushed this narrative when it comes to women looking a certain way. And you see a lot of black women, younger black women in their 20s, that has like this curl thing that's right here on the forehead. I don't know what that is. Somebody tell me in the comment what that is. I don't know what that is, but it's like I think it's like baby hair or something like that. But in addition to that, they have extensions, right? So they have their natural hair, and then they have extensions to make their hair longer. For a long period of time, we've all seen in social media, any type of outlets or anything like that, where they have media push out a certain a certain narrative or certain images for what they think beauty is for women. And depending on what type of outlets you look at, what type of social media you look at, sometimes it could be blonde hair, blue eyes with long hair. Sometimes it could be like curly hair and all these type of things, right? So women, of course, are very emotional beings, and women really put a big emphasis on self-image. So if media is telling them that this is how they're supposed to look, then they're going to go about doing that. And I'm pretty sure this is like probably like $1 billion business right now when it comes to making wigs and all these type of things. But I think, personally, I believe that that black natural hair is beautiful. That's how God made you, right? So That's another thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not to get off the topic, but I mean, you know, for black women, your natural hair is what a lot of black men want. They don't want all these wigs and these weaves and all these extensions. Social media is telling you that we want these things, but for the most part, we don't want that. We want natural, right? That's what we really want, you know what I'm saying? And I can get into another topic or another video when it comes to that. But yeah, I believe that's my spiel on it, as far as like why I believe black women wear wigs, weaves, extensions, all these type of things. I think sometimes it's come down to self-image, what society deems as being beautiful. I also believe that because of hair loss as black women grow older, of course, hair is a very big thing for women in general, not just black women. Women in general, it's a very big emphasis on hair because once again, it goes off of beauty. So when women start to lose their hair, that can cause an issue with self-image, right, and self-confidence. So of course, in order to mitigate that, they find some type of way to keep their hair intact, meaning wigs and all these type of things. And also, I think it's an aspect of social acceptance, like how my mom said, where she said that she literally cut her hair and put wigs on to be socially acceptable to her peers because her peers didn't have hair like she did. And I think that's very unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's the society we live in. But I hope I answered your topic, subscriber. I appreciate you emailing me. I mean, that was a very good topic, and we can get more in depth in that if you think that the explanation didn't go too in depth with it. But that's my spill on it. And anybody else that has a topic or a subject you think is beneficial to the channel, email me at fineandfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address is description below. Fine and Fitness and Folk, F, I'm gone.